DeleteMe, Optery, Aura. If you've heard of all three, well, let's be real. You also don't want to be doing more research because you've done plenty. So let me do the legwork and let's go over the critical components of each service, what they do and don't provide, so that you can make the best choice for your identity and for your protection. Let's start with DeleteMe. I would say it's the better known of the three because, let's be real, they have a good marketing budget and they get their name out there. They have longevity and more time on the market with data broker removal service than any other service out there. And that's not to say that it's a bad company. Their core services are important and they function as intended. But something they do better than any other service out there is the manual removal process. One thing I don't like is how some services do automated removal processes so that they can just get volume and fluff to you in numbers rather than looking at what really matters, making sure names actually match up, because there are some services out there that just AI it and just kind of spray and pray and hope that they can remove as much of your information as possible. But if you have a like or a common name, well, you might be doing someone else a service while doing yourself a disservice. But that doesn't happen with DeleteMe because they do have a human approach. You get a privacy advisor and they look over all of your takedown requests before getting them submitted. So that human component does sometimes catch false matches. So you are getting the most accurate removal with DeleteMe. Now, when it comes to volume or sites that they cover, I would say DeleteMe covers the most, with them covering 850 data broker sites. I mean, that's impressive. You can see here on my dashboard how many sites they actually continuously cover and monitor to make sure that my information doesn't go back on them. Now, they do check all these sites. That doesn't necessarily mean that your information is removed from these sites. The reason why DeleteMe is on here is because they prioritize accuracy or high-risk sites, not just sites that might just be databases that contain your information. So that is also an important difference. You did hear me say they only offer an annual subscription service, not a monthly one, rather than other services that people sign up for where they do a monthly data broker removal service and then they're like, perfect, got what I needed. The bulk of my information is off the internet, so now I'm gonna bounce. DeleteMe is like, no, we're in this for an invested amount of time. So that is another thing to know. When you sign up with DeleteMe, you're making a time investment as well as a money investment. And again, it's smart on DeleteMe's part because getting your information off a data broker site and keeping it off a data broker site is going to be a long-term battle. It's not just going to be a one and done situation. They can rescrape your information, repost it, post a new website. So it does require ongoing monitoring and takedown requests. I still have a discount link below that you could use if you want a long-term investment with DeleteMe. There are two ways of getting your information off of data broker sites, manually and automated. Now, this is where Optery comes in and shines because they do a balance of both. They do the manual takedown requests with a human as well as the automated process, which is why they boasted in our testing the most amount of information getting taken down from these sites. 300 removals of my personal information. That's just insane numbers. I mean, that's sheer volume. That's great. That's far and away the highest amount of takedowns from any service we tested. And it justifies the cost very well at that amount of removals. The other nod that I would give them is the fact that they are the most transparent data broker removal site, with you getting screenshots of exactly where and what information was removed, which for a data nerd like myself, I really appreciate, because then I can see exactly, was it my email, was it my address, and what site actually had that information. And that's where transparency matters, because other services could easily get you to that 300 number and inflate and say, yeah, we got you off of these sites and we got 301, but they're not showing their work. So it is a little bit of a trusting issue with me, whereas with Optery, they're like, here's where I took your information down and now it's gone. So like DeleteMe, they do offer a free initial scan. So you can get one by clicking on the link below and getting started with Optery if that's what you want. Again, with transparency and pricing, those two things combined, plus the sheer volume of data broker sites that they actually cover, Optery gets a big thumbs up from me. It's currently, in my opinion, the best data broker removal site on the market. This brings us to Aura, a unique data broker removal company on the market, because it's actually more than that. Yes, they handle data broker removal service, but at their core, they're an identity theft protection service. So while they cover really high risk data broker sites, recommending them really comes down to the other services they provide on top of data broker removal, because they are still playing catch up to bigger services for data broker removal like DeleteMe and Optery. But I'll just skip ahead and say that Aura gets a huge 2 thumbs up for me, because for the average person watching, you'll want the whole identity theft protection ecosystem that Aura has to offer. Deleting your personal information off the internet is a great start. But again, if you're dealing with things like harassment or stalking, Optery is a great choice in terms of sheer volume. But most of you who are just concerned with online privacy are going to be leaving yourself with gaps if the only thing you're doing to protect yourself is to delete yourself off the internet. That's not enough. Things like monitoring your credit information, monitoring the dark web for your data leaks or data breaches are going to be important, as well as if the worst does happen, you want that peace of mind by having identity theft protection insurance. And in all the tests we ran with Aura when it comes to credit monitoring alerts, dark web breaches, instances and alerts, Aura just outperformed other services that were like it. So not only does it have good data broker removal service, in the identity theft protection sphere, it even outperformed its competitors. And like the other two, they recognize high risk. So for the data broker removal service that they do offer, they are offering protection for the most at-risk data broker sites, leaving some gaps as they do catch up with their data broker removal service. But I would say that they will have you covered for the most egregious at-risk sites. So you can have peace of mind at that. And yes, in a perfect world, you would have Aura plus a supplementary dedicated data broker removal service. So here's the bottom line. If you're worried about really intense things like harassment, stalking, things like that, removing yourself from every possible site that your data might be in, well then Optery is going to be the clear choice for you, because you want the most sites and the most coverage, and they'll get you there. While DeleteMe has that value of being human verified. So rather than getting quantity, you do get quality with that human component that I would say is still very important. For everyone else that wants a more holistic ecosystem approach, Aura is going to be that clear choice. It's the most complete privacy protection you can get for the price. You will find discount codes for all 3 in the description below. Clicking on any of them will support the channel at no cost to you while giving you an exclusive discount. Thanks for watching. This is Ro with Cyber Sleuth. We'll see you on the next one.